Man! Hey everybody, help me out. Subscribe and like this video. Thanks. Alright, there's no way around it. We're going to have to deal with helicopters and we're going to have to deal with the planes. There are some good things that come from it. And let's just go through a few of them and kind of give you an idea of what we do know at this point. This is all based on things that I've seen elsewhere from other videos and from other people and from my own personal experience. I hope that most of it or all of it is correct. But please pay close attention if I say something that isn't right, that you feel free to comment below so that other people know that I didn't get it right. Anyway, as you know, they've added helicopters to the hangar, and they ended the previous one and they started this one. So now they're basically giving you two different squadrons. Fortunately, this means that it's going to change things dramatically from my perspective, for ghost attacks, and probably in RR and PvP when you're out hunting after SVS or something along those lines. So what you're basically doing is you're saying, okay, look, you've got two different squadrons that you can attach your planes to. In typical fashion, the first squadron leads with your first attack going out. Your second squadron leads with your second attack going out. That said, you can, in fact, switch those and do things. So let's say that you were attacking Capital and you knew there was somebody in there that wasn't as strong as they needed to be. You could switch your primary heroes, or you could even switch your helicopter and your planes to give them the impression that you were bringing on the big guns when you weren't really, and then save the other ones for ghost attacks. So there's some strategies there that can be worked out. So let's talk a little bit about what we do know here with the in the hangar. It looks like it's very similar to what it was before. You go in, you're bumping up the different stats for each one. Looks like it's the same thing, other than number of levels. Obviously, we know there's 100 levels this time. And as you can see, each one of those is going to increase one of them independently. I suggest that you start with infantry. I do lethality first and health second. And then I go into lethality for my hunters next. And then lethality for my riders, and then I focus down here in the bottom for the health of these two. I'm not sure exactly if that is the right way to do it. I do it simply because I want to cause the maximum damage I can, and lethality is the one that's going to determine that for you. So that's kind of where I do it first. Also, I do the hunters or the infantry health first, in order to sustain as much as I possibly can in the attack rounds, to sustain my infantry as long as I possibly can. So as it goes in this game, the man with the most infantry or the strongest infantry wins in most cases. So you always want to bump up your infantry as much as possible first, and then focus on the other ones. I prefer lethality for hunters next. But I could see arguments for both ways, going riders and then hunters. To be honest with you, I haven't tested it, so I don't know which one would be the best. But my suspicion is the hunters provide the majority of damage. That would be where you'd want to put that lethality next. So getting back to it, it works basically the same. Even the functions or the features of how to define the different teams is very much the same. You have basically the equivalent of a protective paint and the attack one. One causes more damage, the other causes a slight bit of increase in your hospital as opposed to deaths. To be honest with you, I'm not sure that the protective paint or that third option that is available under the helicopters, I'm not sure what it's called. Either one of them is really going to be much good. So I think the other one is probably your best option. And based on some of the videos I've seen, other people have done that. Initially, we did do protective paint, but I think after doing a slight bit of testing, it does look like your batch healing is much more effective in nature of preventing damages, and you're much better off causing more damage to the other side as you are to prevent a little damage to yourself. So, that said, you do now have two different sets of forces. You have the helicopter forces and you have the airplane forces. Your airplane forces are unchanged. It works exactly the way it used to. Basically, everything that we learned still applies. It appears that the helicopter is not really anything different than an airplane, other than they reworded a few things to make it a little bit more appropriate for helicopter. So you're going to want to make if your second march is not relevant, then you can leave that out. And in a lot of our cases, especially the rally leaders and especially those fighting Capital and CC, you're going to want it to be almost every bit as good as your first one, simply because then you can ghost respond to things a lot better. There's recently, with some of the runaway stats that have been coming out and new heroes and stuff, it's been much more increasingly difficult to get good rally ghost rally responses with second sets of troops or second marches, simply because they're just not strong enough to take on those primary troops that are sitting in the base. This should solve that, even if you have to use a double to ensure it, but at least it will give you that benefit of hitting them when they're weak and having enough power to knock them out. Whether that was the intention or not from the developers, I don't know. But that's what it comes down to from my perspective. So it does look like it's going to end up being relevant primarily for rally leaders. If you are a joiner and you're not going out and hitting things on your own and doing marches of your own and stuff like that, other than RR, leaving out RR for now, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good, because your troop adjoining comes from your rally leader. Now, that said, those secondary effects can boost up more lethality and more damage and more healing if those rally leaders join. So the joiners need to make sure that they're setting it and that they don't have the rally leader aspect of it selected. Let's see if I can. I don't know that I can even get to that anymore. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Yeah. So we're talking about these talents down here in the bottom right-hand part of the screen, but you thought you would be able to define those for... There we go. Not sure I can do it for the planes anymore, but the precise strike if you're not a rally leader, and it should be massive assault if you are a rally leader. And then I would not use the ion, this one, garrison your settlements, is probably your troops getting wounded. It basically reduces your wounded troops, or reduces your number of troops killed as opposed to number wounded, but I'm not sure it's going to make much of a difference. Garrison and settler, probably your troops getting wounded is reduced by 2.4. Oh, so it actually reduces your wounded troops, not your killed troops. So it could have a minor impact, but I think causing the damage on the other side might be more important, and you can just use your batch healing. If you don't have good batch healing, maybe it could be up in the air. Anyway, that's what we know at this point. It is 100 levels at this point. It is going to take quite a few of the packs, come in two different things. The primary pack obviously is the one that's on the in the all bundles. It is this one here, which is 10 special coating and 100 super alloy. The special packs that come out that don't have the big one, but they do have all the other packs, are 2.5 times that size. So it's 25 special coating and 250 super alloy. They do seem to come out almost on a daily basis, so that kind of helps there. I think they have a cycle that's very similar to the missions that are allowed to be performed under Squadron here. So, nope, under Squadron. what am I talking about? Under everything but under Solo Assault. So that is what we're looking at there. And obviously, I think that's it. Make sure you save your tickets. For one other thing that you want to make sure you do is when you're doing your upgrades, make sure you save your tickets until you get up into a higher level. And then you can go in here and click on these each day and use one of your tickets down here in the bottom right hand corner. You'll see that raid button. You can click that and get some of the rewards from that. I suggest you wait until you're up at a little higher level so that the rewards are bigger. At the same time, if you wait, then you never get to the higher level, and that depends on what kind of spender you are and how big of a hurry you are to get there. So this is pretty basic. I mean, you just click the button and it gives you one ticket and gives you those rewards, and you can stack them up pretty quick. I think about 5 a day is what it allows you to do. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like. I appreciate you, and you have a good one. Man. Hey everybody, help me out. Subscribe and like this video. Thanks.